Hello everyone, what's up? On this video, I'm gonna be ranking out the fighting classes on Predator Hunting Grounds. I have already done a video like this back in 2021, and not much has changed since then, as Illfonic has not added any new fighting classes. They only added new Predator classes through the DLCs. All Fireteams, I'm gonna still be ranking the same fighting classes that I did in my previous video, but my opinion in regard of some of the placements that I did back then have changed. I think I did some mistakes, so here comes the updated version of my personal ranking of the fighting classes for 2023. And let's get started. At the bottom, it sure comes to no one's surprise that yeah, it's still gonna be Isabel, of course. Isabel is just the worst class in the game. A lot of people call her shit. I don't think she's like that bad or she's shit or oh, if you use Isabel, you're just gonna lose. No, it's just that some of the other fighting classes can be so overpowered that she just pales in comparison. And stats wise, she's pretty much like a worse version of any other class. Stats wise, she's just inferior to pretty much like any other class. I think she's the most similar to maybe Recon or Scout because she's supposed to be like a class with low HP, more focused on just being sneaky and being fast and just trying to snipe the Predator. She's a sniper, so I think she's supposed to be like a Recon variant. But in comparison to the Recon, Recon has a better stats. I mean, they have the same one of mud cover duration, which is supposed to be about hiding from the Predator to sniping, whatever. But the spot duration of the Recon is just a much better one than this increased damage at range, which is not bad, it's just that it's too situational. I have been able to get some matches which I managed to snipe the Predator from very far with Isabel, and I got this damage buff from her, but I just don't think it's that useful because, like I said, it's just too situational. And a lot of times the Predator is not going to be that far from you. To kill you, he's going to have to come into a certain range. In this certain range, you probably won't be able to get this damage buff. If the Predator comes at point blank to kill you, to get your skull, you won't be able to get this damage buff. So I think this passive is just way too situational. And in regards to the other stats, she has a little more HP than like Recon and Scout, but she doesn't have anything to make up for that. Like this Scout has low HP, sure, but he has an insane amount of stamina and movement speed to make up for that, and more power points. Recon is not as fast and doesn't have as much stamina as the Scout, but he has a lot of power points to make up for that. He has more gear than Isabel, so in regards to comparing Isabel to Recon, Recon has more power and gear points. He has a better passive overall. He's just like a better version in the end. So like there's not much of a unless you're a really big fan of Isabel or Alice Braga, or in general you just want to play and hear her voice, there's not much of a reason for you to use her over like Recon or Scout. Every single class in this game, I mean, no, I made a mistake. No, there are some classes that have, like Dante has no weakness at all. But like most of the classes here, they have like some bad stats, they have some weaknesses, and they have like strengths to make up for their weakness. They have some good stats that make up for their bad stats in a way that sometimes it makes it irrelevant to their bad stats. You know, like Scout has low HP, but like I said, his stamina and movement speed is just so good that it makes up for that. Isabel doesn't have really anything to make up for her low HP. She has like I think 5 more HP than Scout and Recon, which is like not that much difference in practice, and she doesn't really have anything to make up for that. And in regards to gear and power points, it's still low. Like Recon has more gear and power points. She has more than Scout. I mean, she can bring grenades or HCGs if you want. Same has like Dutch 87. But at least Dutch 87 is a tank, and he has more power points, and he has better passives and better specializations. Her specializations are not bad because she has Sniper. His Sniper is pretty good, but Recon also has Sniper, so like I said, there is not much of a reason for you to use Isabel over Recon. Rushdown and Scavenger are like bad specializations overall in my opinion. Scavenger can be only good if you exploit the bug, which is if you take the weapon from the crate and you change back to your original weapon, you're gonna keep this damage buff. But if you just find a bad weapon in a weapon crate, I don't think it's gonna help much. Amphibious is just situational. Sometimes it can be good, sometimes it cannot, but usually I go for damage and Sniper. I think it's overall the best option for her. If you go with the meta weapons, Hammerhead, Saws, whatever, on Isabel, sure, she's gonna be good because it's just because the weapons are good, not because the class is good. Pair combinations, usually you might want to use Thick Skin on her, just so you don't get one-shotted. Thick Skin is probably the most overpowered perk in the game, and yeah, I'm gonna call it overpowered because it can make some fighting classes become so stupidly tanky, especially when you take into consideration the passives that can stack damage reduction, like the support, running, like you have like Dante that can get damage reduction while running, and you can have like a support that gives reduction while close to it, and if you put that with Thick Skin, some classes can become very overpowered with Thick Skin, and overall it's the most useful perk in the game, as it can allow you to not get down by the Predator. Sometimes you can recard the Predator to do way more extra hits to get you down, and in the meanwhile, your Fireteam can just second in the Predator. So I always use thick skin in all my classes. I mean, if I really want to win, that's it. And she can only have 5 points left now. Usually I go with action hero because I'm used to playing with action hero. It helps with the hip firing a lot. But if I do this, I don't have much points left. I would like to use Gearhead on her. I think she should be buffed. I mean, compared to the other classes, she should probably. But I cannot use Gearhead in this situation. So usually I go with sometimes heavy hitter if it's like public games, because I know Predators like to use melee. And now hidden passive of Isabel. She does more knife damage, and that stacks with sniper and heavy hitter. So if you stack a lot of this stuff together, like sniper is gonna give 15% more damage to these targets that I spotted. Heavy hitter does more damage for melee, so she can do some insane knife damage. She's like a glass cannon in regards to melee. She can do an insane amount of knife damage to the Predators, but also since she doesn't have much of HP, they can get her down pretty fast. She can get like one-shotted by the axe and stuff. Or you might want to use this perk here so she can become a little more tanky. I think that just Gearhead can also be a good combination if you're not much into hip firing. You might want to use this, and then maybe fast hands. Like this could be a good options for builds for her. But overall, she's just like an inferior class in regards to the other ones. Next one is gonna be Dutch 2025, and it's kind of ironic that the two characters in this game, the two fighting characters that have confirmed Predator kills, these guys are the only ones that have killed Predators in this game. I mean, Dutch 2087 kind of has, but I see this like as the character that started the game, not the one that killed the Predator, but whatever. Dutch 2025 and Isabel, the characters have killed Predators before. They are the worst classes in the game, which is kind of ironic, but well, I don't know why Illfonic reasoning never made any sense. But Dutch is like in same thing with Isabel, that is like Isabel is a worse recon and scout. Dutch 2025, he's like a worse assault and a worse support. He's like in this area between assault and a support. He has more HP than the assault, but he doesn't have as much as the support, and he has a little faster than the support, but not as fast as the assault. But he doesn't do as much of a good job as either. So like he's between assault and support, but he doesn't do as much of a good job that assault does in regards to damage, in regards to fighting the Predator. And he doesn't do as much of a good job at supporting the fighting as the assault, as the support does. As he doesn't have as much gear points as the support can bring more medikits, ammo, he can bring more gear to assist the rest of the squad, or Dutch 25 cannot do that. And also the passives overall of the support are better because he can just give damage resistance, which can make an absurd amount of difference in the matches. And the passives of Dutch 2025 are pretty much like he's like similar to Assault, because he's the only one that I believe that also has the hipfire accuracy, which is pretty much like he has like Action Hero by default. He has the Action Hero perk by default, has the passive ability, which helps a lot into the hipfiring. But Assault, instead of like being able to mud up faster and stay mudded for long, he can do more damage. And damage in this game is everything. Damage is, as I've shown in many of the matches that I did, damage in this game is everything. So I think this overall, the bullet weapon damage from the Assault is overall better passive. In regards to the perk and gear points, I mean, he has less gear points than the Assault. I think that he should have more gear points. I think he should be like really in every single stats to be between Assault and support, and that would make more sense. In regards to his specializations, he has some good ones. I think Deadly, Leader, and Overseer are all good. They can be all be good. Leader and Deadly for more likely. I mean, unless you have already someone using Leader, then maybe you might want to use this just so you can make everybody in the fighting be able to do more damage. He has more HP than the Assault class, but it's like I think 10 more, but it's still like I think that it doesn't make that much difference. Of course, if you put thick skin, he can be a tank, but still he's not as much tanky as the support class. He's just like an inferior version of the not only support and assault, but also of Dutch 87. Because Dutch 87 really is like he's like a mixture of both the assault and support kind of. He's like a tankier assault. He's like a super assault. No, he's really for fighting the Predators 1v1s. Dutch 2025, he's not bad because at least he has high HP. And the fact that he can be tanky already make ups for a little bit of his. I don't think he has really weaknesses that much. Like it's just that he doesn't really have anything that stands out that can allow him to become like a big problem against the Predator. And he's just slow, not as slow as the support, but it's still like the fact that he cannot move very slow make it easier to hit him with like the arrows, the disc, whatever. Good combinations that you can use on here are just this one. He already has like the Action Hero by default, so you don't need to put it here. But if you want to use that Action Hero here, it makes it even easier to be able to do hipfire. Here, just usually I would always use the hammerhead on him. You can either put leader or deadly on him, it's fine. This combination here can make him very tanky. He can put his self-revive, because he has like 8 gear points. I mean, self-revive is very situational. I'm known to use the self-revive on this class, that's why I became known in private matches for. But it's just very situational. Actually the moments which I managed to win because of bringing the self-revive on Dutch 2035, because one of the only advantage that he could have, I mean, I'm not sure if you can really call it advantage, because it's very situational, or over like Dutch 2087, it's just that you can bring this, he has one more gear point, but Dutch 87 has 11 power points, which, I mean, you're just gonna put action hero here, which Dutch 25 already has a passive anyway. So I really like this class just because of the looks. I think he looks really cool. But stats wise, he's just like I said, a worse assault, a worse support. You might want, if you're just looking for what is most optional to use in a match, you might just want to go for the other classes. But he's not bad. I think he's good just because of his high HP. Like, with his skin, he can have 185 HP, which is usually enough, and he has good specializations. He's a good class. I don't like people that say that Dutch 2025 is a shit class, it's bad. No, it's not. He's okay. It's just like the other classes are just so good, can be just so overpowered that, yeah, Dutch 2025 is gonna pale in comparison to that. Next ones are gonna be for B-Tier. It's gonna be Assault, OW, Alpha, Operative, and the Scout. I'm gonna start talking about first the Assault and the Operative because they are very similar. They are just the most balanced classes in the game. They just don't have anything really, any big weaknesses. They are just very well balanced. They have good specializations. Deadly and Fanatic and Reckless and Leash, they can all be good. Fanatic is probably the most one that can be broken because it's bugged. So once it's triggered, you can keep it even if you heal, because the damage and the speed is only supposed to be buffed, or your HP is below 50%. But there's a bug which, if you heal with Surats, just not use a medic, if you get damage, get to below 50% HP and you heal only with Surats, you can keep this buff. And Fanatic can be really OP in this game, especially if everybody's running Fanatic. Everybody can get the buff for damage and speed, and it can be really insane because everything like in this game stacks. The damage stacks, the speed stacks. Like, you can stack Fanatic with Bane and the passive of Assault of more bullet damage, or you can stack the speed buff from Fanatic with double time, so you can become even faster than the Scout. With Fanatic, Assault can become pretty insane class, but I'm not sure if I should count it because it's not intended to be like this. Fanatic was not intended to work like this, but a lot of people just decide to use it like this because it's bugged, and people in this game, they're gonna take advantage of every single bug. So anyway, Assault is just a very well balanced class. He doesn't have any really weakness. His HP, stamina, movement speed, and gear points are all balanced. Same thing for power points. He's just very well balanced. He's focused on doing a good amount of damage or fighting the Predator, and he does a good job with that. So like, there's not much to say. This is a good combination. With him, it's good that you can bring medikits or ammo bags if you want to assist the fighting. He's good for everything. He's not only good for finding the Predator, but because of the gear points, he can also help the rest of the fighting by bringing some useful gear. I like to use scanners on him. Lately, I only use scanners on the Assault, because with the scanners I can find medikits and ammo crates on the map, which kind of is pretty much the same thing as bringing medikits or ammo bags. So scanners can be very strong in this game. They can be extremely useful. He can do some good pair combinations. Sometimes I like to use this. This overall is a very good one. He becomes like super tanky. I mean, not super, but he becomes like really... The only weakness of Assault is that he can get like one-shotted, as he only has 150 HP. With Thick Skin, he won't get one-shotted, so he already have like no really weakness. This Thick Skin takes away his only possible weaknesses. So, and then Gearhead allows me to have more stress, just increase my survivability. But lately I have been using this as well. This is a good combination as well for fighting the Predator, as I can just... Assault already has the hipfire accuracy as a passive. If I do put Action Hero, it's gonna be even easier to hipfire. I don't have to ADS a lot, I can just hit the Predator through really, even from far, just by hipfiring, because everything stacks in this game. Action Hero is stacks with the passive. He already has like the extra bullet damage, so here, I don't think you need really Bane on Assault. I used to use Bane on Assault, like back when I started playing the game. People think that more damage is the better, and it is, but you don't need that much, to be honest. Like, I think that just the specialization Deadly or a Fanatic that is gonna stack with the passive is enough. I think that Thick Skin is overall much better than Bane, just because it allows you to stay up for longer. In case like the Predator is attacking you and trying to fight you, you can just stay standing for longer. The Predator requires to do more damage. The more time you're standing, the longer it takes for the Predator to get you down, the more damage you can do to him as long as you're hitting auto shots. So I think that this combination here, as long as you have thick skin on Assault, he can be a really strong class. He can be really good. It's one of my main classes for a long time, for a good reason, because he's just really good. Other one in the same tier I said is Operative. Operative is pretty much the same thing as Assault. It's just a very well balanced class. It's just that he has one less perk points, but he has more gear to make up for that. His specializations are overall good. I would say Sniper it can be just as good as Deadly. Maybe not as much as Fanatic, because Fanatic also increases the speed, but this can be pretty good. Oh yeah, I forgot to say, Assault can also be good if you want to use double time. It can be risky because he still get one-shotted, but he can become super fast. With Fanatic, he can become even faster than the Scout. Does not has much stamina, but he can become really stupid fast. But like I said, it's like a bugged specialization, so not everybody uses that bug. Operative is just like I said, very well balanced. With thick skin, he can become even tankier than the Assault because one of his passives is that he takes less damage, 10% less damage. He is harder to see with thermal vision, which are okay. You see, they're like okay passive abilities. I think overall it's okay. A good combination that I like to use on him was this. Just make him tankier. Give action here because I usually like to hip fire. Sniper already gives a good damage buff. I don't usually it's not even necessary. I mean, fighting. I mean, with the meta weapons like Hammerhead, Pistol, they are already pretty strong even before the specializations. You didn't even need like the specializations. The fighting didn't even need the specializations to win against the Predator most of the time. So yes, I said that damage is everything in this game, but like the base fighting damage is already so high in this game that you don't really need to stack that much damage. Of course, if you want to stack that much damage, sure, you can do it, and it's gonna become like so overpowered, and the Predator is gonna go second in so fast that it might even take the fun away from the game. But yeah, the base damage is already pretty strong, which is why I have not used Bane in any of my classes. Maybe Recon, because Recon has a lot of power points, so I can try to use that. But the other ones, nah, it's not even necessary. And with the Operative, I like it that I can bring both scanners or medikits or ammo bags and also grenades. His advantage over the Assault is this, that he has more, he can allow you to bring more gear. But in regards to passives, I think that Assault still has overall a better one, because with Assault you don't need to put action here. If this one has also the hipfire accuracy has a passive, I could put something else here. So the good thing about Assault is that I don't have to use action here. I have like I have like points, I slot to spare to use something else then besides action hero, you know. But overall, Operative is pretty good. It's just very good, well balanced class. No weaknesses really. I mean, people say that, oh, he doesn't have enough HP. I mean, just put thick skin and then you have no weakness at all. Like the meta perks, you guys are gonna notice that I always use pretty much like the same perk combination for all the classes because the meta perks are always the same. It's gonna be Gearhead, Action Hero, Thick Skin, Double Time, depending on some of the classes. And Quick Release is pretty good. It's underrated. I think Quick Release can be very useful as once you empty your clip, you want to get another clip fast so you can keep shooting the Predator. Especially with the pistol, like, I mean, the pistol is broken on its own, so there is that. Other ones is Scout. Scout's pretty good. He's like the ultimate Predator chaser. He can just chase the Predator from across the map and never stop, never let the Predator heal. That's something that people have seen a lot happen in private matches as I played against Thunder Wolf and Gas. They love using the Scout, they love chasing the Predator because the Scout is very fast, has a lot of stamina. So he can speed run some of the Predator classes. He can reach the location where the Predator is running to heal and prevent the healing and just chase the Predator in second until he dies. So Scout can be a pretty big annoyance depending on the players that are using it. Scout can just be such a big annoyance. I mean, Gasp and Thunder chasing me while using Scouts is one of the things that have pissed me off the most in this game, for sure. His weakness is that he doesn't have a lot of gear points, so he cannot bring much things to assist the fighting. But that's really only a big weakness if everybody's using Scouts. Then yeah, you guys are gonna run out of resources. Depending on the map, you won't be able to find like the Predator against the Scout. The best idea because of the dual specialization, which is pretty much like the only thing that people use on Scout. It increases the damage for the pistols, and everybody knows that been watching my videos that the 1011 pistol is OP. Like this, the damage per second that this pistol can do per bullet, like, and it's very easy to fire a lot of the bullets fast. At point blank, at close, the Scout can just destroy Predators. The pistol damage is already insane just by the base damage. When you add damage from duelist, which is 20%, it just becomes stupid. And when you put action hero that allows you to hip fire, so you don't have to ADS, you don't have to waste time doing the ADS and aiming, you just, Predator comes close, you just shoot every single bullet in the clip, and you just, if you hit every single bullet, you're gonna take like, I mean, just one clip is gonna take like 70-80% of the Predator HP. That's just from one player. So it's just insane. So against a scout, you don't wanna come close to a scout, not only because they do an insane amount of damage, but if they do that insane amount of damage to you, they're gonna start chasing after you. They're just gonna, because they're just so fast, they have so much stamina. You're gonna be like, if you're at low HP, you're gonna be like frustrated because you just lost all your HP against fighting a scout, and now he's chasing you. He's just running after you, and he just wants to kill you. So the best strategy against the scout is just plasma from far, or you can try to use into disc, but he's the fastest class in the game, so he's the one that has the best chance of dodging the disc. But while against scouts, I just like to use a lot of plasma, because if I hit them with a lot of plasma, they are gonna have to use their turrets because they usually don't have medikits. I mean, that is in the situation where they don't have someone bringing medikits for them. But like I said, if they have like a teammate, like this gear, the low gear points of them not being able to bring medikits and stuff like that, resources, is only really a weakness is everybody is using scout. If they have like 2 supports, they have like 2 scouts and 2 supports, then yeah, doesn't really matter. It's not much of a weakness because they have 2 supports bringing their medikits and ammo, so it doesn't really matter much. But still, like, this scout can be taken down faster than like support or Dante, which is why he's not, I mean, Dante is like a better scout pretty much. He's like a tanker scout, which is why he's gonna be in a higher tier. But the scouts, at least they can be taken down with, it doesn't take that much damage to take them down. They can be one-shotted even with thick skin as long as they're standing. If they're running, you're gonna have to do a little bit more damage because of the passive. This passive here of sprint damage resistance can be so stupid broken, because this scout has a lot of stamina. He can always run. He's always gonna be running. Most of the times that I fight in private games, people using scouts, they're always running. So most of the time they won't be able to one-shot them as they're always running, so they're gonna have the damage resistance. In practice, the scout has like, with the damage resistance of, I think it's 20. So in practice he has 170 HP, which is almost the same as a support. He can be tanked at the assault. So in a way, assault, he's supposed to be like the light class in the game, but at the same time he's not, because it is damage resistance. He is actually tankier than the assault class. The assault class can be able to bring more gear, which is of course going to be useful. But scout is just so good for fighting the Predator. The pistol, like I said, is insane damage, and this pair combination here is all that you want to use for him. You use thick skin, so you have more HP, so which covers his only weakness. Action hero allows you to hip fire easier, which with the pistol helps a lot. Double time just making just ultra fast. Scout is already fast enough on its own. When you put double time, he just becomes so stupid fast. He can dodge arrows, dodge the disc much better than any other class. Maybe not Fanatic with double time, but I mean Assault Fanatic with double time, but that's another thing. But he can be pretty good. He's just very good for chasing the Predator, and his only weakness of low gear can just be like ignored as long as you have someone else using a class that can bring a lot of resources. So you have like someone that is using support classes, then you have like the scouts to just fight and chase the Predator. So he's pretty much like a very good class overall. Next one is gonna be Dutch 87, and he's gonna be alone here, because overall he's like a better version of assault. He's like a better version of these classes pretty much. He's like a tanker scout pretty much, not as fast, but you can also put double time on him, and he has Fanatic, which can be pretty OP as well. Like you can put this pair combination on him. So no wait, no it's bugged, yeah, because I just changed the class. They kept it whatever. But like he might not even need thick skin. Even without thick skin, he can be just almost as tanky as the assault, mainly because of his passives. He has the passive of mud damage resistance, which is 10%. So like even though he doesn't have as much HP, has Dash 2025, which is like Dash 2025 has 5 more. It doesn't matter because with the mud on, he is more tanky. With thick skin and OWL training, he can pretty much become like he can be even tanky at the support class. He just becomes so stupid tanky. He can take like over 200 damage to get down. You can try to make him super tanky by stacking those perks together with the passive of mud damage resistance, or you can just try to make him like a tankier scout class by using double time on him. I like to use action hero on him because of his passive that he does more damage or hip firing. and so I usually focus on hip firing because I always want to be able to do more damage with the bullets. So this combination here, which is the one that a lot of people have seen me using, or if you, this one here, pretty much like makes him like a tanky scout. He's not gonna be as fast, but still like it's gonna be harder for the predators to get you down. With the scout, of course the scouts are very annoying because of their high speed and high stamina, but as long as you get the hits on the scout, you can get the scouts down fast. With Dutch 87 it's harder, he's just can be very tanky, and you can bring this combination here, and you can have like one extra Siret with him in comparison to the scout. He can just become like more tankier than the scout, and he can do as much damage. He can do as much damage because of the hip firing. Even though like scout has the duelist specialization, he already has the passive, and the passive stacks with his specialization. So like duelist does more damage, is 20%, while fanatic, leader, whatever is 10%. But he already has the passive of hip firing, and you're always gonna be hip firing with the pistol. So in practice, he also has 20% more damage with the pistol. So he can do as much pistol damage as the scout. He's not as fast, but he's just tankier. So it's gonna be harder for the predator in most occasions to bring him down. And if you put fanatic, like I said, fanatic is a bugged specialization that can be pretty overpowered. He can just become very stupid fast and can do a stupid amount of damage with this. Fanatic is just like, he can be pretty insane, especially if you have fanatic and someone else is using leader. So you're gonna have like, you're gonna have the damage buff from fanatic, the damage buff from the passive of hip fire, the damage buff from someone using leader. It just become like stacking over damage. That, like I said, the base damage of the weapons is already pretty high. When you start stacking damage buff over damage buff on this game, it just becomes stupid. So Dutch 87 is here just because he's like, he does a better job at like fighting the predator overall than all the previous classes. Assault is very good for damage, OW operative as well, but Dutch 87 just makes a better job at surviving the predator encounters because he's tankier than those classes. He can do as much of a good damage, and he's tankier, so it's gonna be harder for the predator to get you down. The weakness over in regards to the comparing to the assault and the operative is that he has low gear points, but like I said with the scout, as long as you have someone bringing gear for you, if you have like someone that is playing with the support, doesn't really matter. You can have like same situation that I said before. You can have two people using supports to bring an absurd amount of medicals and ammo, and you can have two players using Dutch 87, which is gonna become a very tanky fireteam, and at the same time a fireteam that is very good at fighting the predator, because Dutch 87 can do he's both a tanky class and a good class at fighting the predator and being able to do a lot of damage. In regards to the scout, he's like a slower, tankier scout. But he can just, overall, most people that use, if you have someone that uses scout a lot and he changes to Dutch 87 and he's a good scout, usually it's gonna be harder to fighting with Dutch 87 just because of how tanky this class can be. Next one is gonna be the S classes, which is just gonna be the overpowered broken classes in the game. Dante, Recon, and support. I'm judging the classes by their ultimate potential, like in their best build, their best conditions, whatever. And oh no, it's here. Let's start with Dante. Dante is like a class with absolutely no weakness in this game. He's like a faster support, or like a tankier scout. He can be, because of fanatic, he can become very fast in this game. He's already like, if you look at his stats here, he's already pretty tanky. He's already tanky. He's tanky. He has good movement speed, good stamina in comparison to the other ones, you know. He's like a better version of many classes, and he has a good amount of gear and perk points together with that, so he has like no weakness at all. Dutch 87 at least has 2 weaknesses of low gear points. Dante doesn't have it. Not only he's good at fighting the predator because he has fanatic, which is pretty good. He can put good perk combinations. He's just very good at fighting the predator, but he can be very tanky as well, and he has good speed and stamina even then. So like, he's really the class in this game that has no weakness. Dutch 87 at least has low gear points. Scout has low HP, has low gear. Assault and operative has like, they don't have a weakness, but they are like just well balanced. While Dante is just like, he's just too tanky. He's just like, the problem with Dante is he's too tanky, mainly because of his sprint damage resistance. Explosive damage resistance, a lot of people think that this is for plasma. No, this is for like barrels and stuff, explosive damage. And the predator doesn't have explosive damage. Plasma damage is not the same. This here pretty much like helps Dante surviving like damage from barrels or the damage of his own weapons. Like Dante came with the rocket launcher, I think, or the no, I think it was the rocket launcher. So his own rocket launcher damage or grenade launcher, the damage of the fighting weapons that are explosive damage, he takes less damage. So at point blank, a lot of the classes can take their own friendly fire. Dante doesn't have to worry about that. He takes less damage. But you don't even need this passive. Like just his sprint damage resistance together with just putting thick skin on him, just making him too tanky. So he's like this tanky fast class, which doesn't make sense because like Scout Scout is fast but he has low HP. Support is tanky but he has low speed. Dante is like in this middle area. But he's just very good. He's just very good. Like, I have used Dante in a few videos, and it's really... He's the class that I say that is pay to win. Because, really, no weakness at all. And, like, he just has too much strength. He's just way too tanky. He doesn't have anything to make up for how fucking tanky he is. You can put very good pair combinations on him. You can put this. Just so he can become very... As long as you have thick skin on him, he's gonna be OP. And you can put also, like, if you want to put action here on him, put this. And you put this to make it very tanky. If you stack thick skin with the trained specialization and you have it with the passive, he just becomes such an annoyance to get down. Overall he's like the tankiest class in the game. And he can become very fast, not only because he's already fast, but with Fanatic, and Fanatic is, like I said, is bugged. He can become even faster and he can do that, get up damage buff. And he has Field Medic. With Field Medic is one of the most controversial specializations in the game. Because you can revive people in 1 second, which kinda like just breaks the game and makes it easier for the fighting. So he's just kind of pay to win, just a pay to win class that just makes him very, very overpowered to use in this game. And I fucking hate Dante's, like, because I know that the person that is using Dante, he's only gonna survive. He was only be able to do that well in the match most of the time because he's using Dante. You take a Dante player and putting like a main Dante player, and put him with any other class, using any other class, is not gonna be the same thing. And I have experienced that a lot of Dante players, they tend to be very toxic, they tend to talk a lot of shit. So it's like a meme in the community in this game that Dante players like to talk shit to you. They are like they complain about everything. They complain about plasma, they complain about arrows, they complain about ranged predator gameplay. And it's ironic because they are using something that is pay to win, that is overpowered, and they're gonna complain about the predators doing stuff when you're already using something that is broken in the game. So Dante is just overall, he has like 2 of the most broken specializations in the game. He has a good amount of gear points. He can not only be good at fighting the Predator, taking damage, standing damage from the Predator, surviving, but he can also assist the fireteam a lot by bringing a good amount of gear, bringing scanners. Like if I use this, like this combination here, like my main build with Assault right now has been this one right here, which is focused on like a little bit of damage, but also being able to use the scanner, so I can help the fireteam find the ammo crates and stuff and be tanky. Dante does a better job overall. He just does a better job because he can be even tankier than the Assault. People are gonna say, oh, but he cannot do as much damage as the Assault because he doesn't have damage buff. He doesn't have like the passive of more bullet damage. Yeah, but he has Fanatic, and you can manually trigger Fanatic to get the damage buff. And like I said, the base damage of the fireteam is already so high, you don't even need really that much damage buff. If you want more damage, sure, it can be useful. But being tankier is overall better. Just, it's like I said, using thick skin can be much more OP than using Bane or trying to get more damage. So Dante is just, like I said many times, and I keep saying it, it's just a pay to win broken shit. People are gonna say, oh, if Dante is pay to win, then what is support? Why is support here in the same time with him? Oh, mainly because of this passive of damage resistance. That once the fighting is close to the support, he gets damage resistance, and this stacks with everything else in the game. It's just mainly because of the passive. If the support didn't have this exact passive here, he would be in a tier below, but he has it. And he also has Field Medic. The support at least has low perk points. You cannot put many good perk combinations on the support. You can try to use this so you can have more gear, or you can try to put thick skin to make him super tanky, but he's still, even with thick skin, he's gonna have 200 HP, but he's still not gonna be as tanky as like the Dante in the same fighting, because the Dante, he's gonna have the damage resistance or running or 20%, he's gonna make like a base that he's gonna take like, in practice he's gonna have like 200 HP, but if the support is close to him, he's gonna have 20% more. The support does not get the damage resistance for himself, but if you have 2 support, you do. So like if you have like 2 supports and 2 Dantes, he's gonna be so tanky because they already classes with a lot of HP. Then you can put thick skin on them to become even tankier. Then you're gonna have like the proximity damage resistance, which is gonna give even more. They're gonna have like the Predator is gonna have to do like something like 250 HP of damage to get people down into situations. So in those situations, you have so much HP, and you can bring so much gear, so much medikit, so much ammo. You don't really need to damage the Predator. You're just so tanky. You can just stand the Predator damage so much. Like you're always gonna be able to all damage the Predator in most situations, because the Predator is gonna have to do so much damage. You might like let's say for example, the Predator is gonna have to shoot like 5 arrows to get someone down in those situations. And the time that it takes to shoot 5 arrows is just too much. The Fireteam can just easily second win the Predator in those situations. So the Predator is always going to go second win before he can get someone down in those situations. And that is even without damage buff. When you are so tanky, when you have a Fireteam composition that is so tanky like this, you don't need damage buffs. And you have field medic on top of that. So everybody, even if the Predator is lucky to get someone down, anyone can just revive him in 1 second. So it's just broken. Like support and Dante together are just broken. Most people don't realize. I mean, people that use this shit when they play Fireteam, they don't realize because they're just bad Fireteams. Like if you lose while using supports and Dantes, you're just doing something wrong. Like you're just playing bad, and the Predator player is clearly much better than you, because these classes can be truly overpowered when used together. And this class can bring just so much stuff, like these resources here. The game already has like a lot of resources. There are so many. Some maps have so much default medikits, and some maps you can find so much ammo crates. So like in many situations you don't even need to bring this much. But if you want to bring this much medikits, have so much players bringing medikits, bringing scanners, like it's just like you can easily shit your way to victory very easily in 99% of the matches against Predators, any Predator player, like just by using this overpowered classes. Sure, he's slow, sure he has low stamina, but who cares? You're just so tanky. It doesn't matter if it's easier for the Predator to hit you, which it is. I mean, it is easy to hit the support with the arrows, but he's just so tanky that he's just gonna take so much damage to bring down, and the Fireteam can just protect him and just second in the Predator, and just very overpowered class. Last one is the Recon, but only when he has Tracker, because Tracker is this perk that increases the spotting of the Predator. Usually the Predator gets spotted. When he gets spotted, it lasts for like 4 seconds. With the Recon, it lasts longer because of this passive extended spot duration, and it stacks with the Tracker, which results in a 9-second spot duration for the Predator. So if the Recon Tracker spots the Predator, he's gonna be spotted for 9 seconds, which works like a wall hack. The spotting is just insane. And while the Predator is spotted for like 9 seconds, every single player in the Fireteam can just shoot him, because they can just shoot the green icon, and while he's spotted, the Predator cannot do anything. He just has to hide. They all know where the Predator is, they can all damage him. And while he's spotted, the Fireteam can just do the mission and speedrun it. It's like a cock blocking build for the Predator. While the Predator is spotted, every single time the Predator gets spotted, he gets cock blocking for 9 seconds. And for 9 seconds, he just has to stand still until the spotting go away. Otherwise, he's just gonna get melted and shot all the time. So even though the Recon has like low gear, he has low gear points, whatever, he doesn't have like, stats-wise, he doesn't have much, anything significant to him. Like, if you look at his stats, you're gonna say, oh, he's like a worse scout. He's like a scout, he has just a... actually, HP here is wrong, like... He has same HP as scout, but in here in the stats it's wrong, it shows that he has more HP, but it's a lie. Actually, scout is tankier than him because of the damage resistance while running, but whatever. You look at here at his stats, you're gonna say, oh, he's a worse scout, because he's a slower scout with less stamina. He might have more gear, but it's not worth it. Yeah, but this thing here... Tracker is just so OP that it makes up for any other weakness that he has. If he doesn't have Tracker, then sure, I'm gonna rank him in another place. But and because of his high power points, he can put like good combinations. Thick Skin and Gearhead allow him to become very good at covers his only weakness, which is his low survivability. He doesn't have a lot of HP, so he can get one shot that he can be downed easily. So you can just use this to make him survive better. And you have Trackers, so you can cock block the Predator always. He just becomes insane OP. If he doesn't have Tracker, and I put like Bane on him, then I suppose I'm gonna put Recon like... maybe same as Assault, because he's still good. Because he still has more spotting duration, and he has good parry combos. He can do a good amount of damage. I think he can be around here. Recon can still be good. He's around... Maybe he's not... A little like... Maybe between Assault and Dutch 2025. Just to show how overpowered Tracker is. Because he can take a class from B or maybe B-, whatever, and he can put it on S tier. Just because of how overpowered this Tracker perk is. And I have videos showcasing how overpowered this is. I have used it in a few occasions. And it's just really broken. Oh well, guys. This was my video ranking the fighting classes in 2023. I hope you guys liked it. See you in the next video.